Good morning, boys. Great. Let's continue with our discussion on what we were discussing in the last class. Last class, we had completed on what is called as founding an act. Yes. Today, we are going to start with understanding the whole income tax laws as it speaks. But before that, like I discussed with you, let's write some notes and let's close it off with that. Yes. So, off with your notebooks, people. Off with your notebooks. Now, listen. People, this notebook is going to be drafted in a different template than what you usually do. Okay, you're going to use this workbook as how I tell you. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to have the front side, you're going to have the back side, right? The front side is the place where you're going to do all your sums with me, right? So this is the place where you're going to try all the sums along with me. Basically, if I tell you that you have to do a sum which is already there in the question bank, you'll do it from here, right? Every notes that I give you, every examples that I give you, everything which I tell you to write down more for your reference will be on the back side of the book, right? So that is how we're going to prepare this template, people. The reason is very simple. I don't want you people to be confusing with both the books. As much as you understand, the sums are already there in your question bank itself. Yes, so if you do it right now, it's more for your practice, it's not for your revisions. So you don't need those kind of pages. What you need for your exams is only those extra notes which I gave it for your reference purposes, right? So basically, you will be reading only the back side of the book. You'll not be reading your front side of the book. We are right now going to write notes on the back side of the notebook. So move to the back side of the notebook and we start writing notes accordingly. Yes. तो मेरी बुक में पीपल ये पीछे कलरिंग करना ये ड्राइंग करना करना नहीं अलाउड है. Yes, you can't make any kind of extraordinary things in your notebook. Keep both the sides clean. मेरे को दोनों साइड ढंग से चाहिए. Clear? Yes. Good. With that, people, we're going to start writing notes. Today's notes are going to be about writing how to create an law. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Yes. So under that heading is going to be called as formation of a law. Heading is going to be called as formation of a law. कोला की बुक अभी तक चेंज नहीं हुई क्या? स्कूल ही वैसी है क्या करें? Yes. Heading is called formation of a law. चलेगा मेरे को टेंशन नहीं है. Yes, under that when you create a law, people, you need multiple things with you. You need a act, rules, circulars, notifications. Very good. So under the formation of a law, you are going to write the middle law and then break it into 5 subdivisions. You're going to write law and you're going to break it into 5 subdivisions. Subdivision number 1 is going to be called act. Subdivision number 2 is going to be called rules. Subdivision number 3 is circulars, notifications, case laws. Yes, so we're going to break the laws into 5. We're going to break it into act, rules, circulars, notifications, case laws. From the top of your mind, people, tell me 5 items I've given to you. Who does what? Act is done by legislative assembly. Rules is done by administrative assembly. Circulars are by administrative. Notifications is by administrative. And judicials are by. Very good. Yes, that is what you're going to write. So you're going to write under that. Act is done by legislative body. Rules is with administrative body. Circulars, notifications also go for administrative, giving you the case laws with judicial body. Yes, yes, amazing. With this, people, we're going to start doing everything one by one. The first item is creating an act. Yes, so the heading next says formation of an act. Next heading is called formation of an act. Help me out, people, jog your memory. How do we create an act? We need sections, then section 1, section 2, not necessarily section 3, but yes, charging section. Next, penalty section, prosecution sections, giving an authority to a power. Next, non-obstante clauses. All those things are going to be part of your section creations. Yes or no? Yes. So formation of an act. Under that, to create an act, to create an act, To create an act, the following sections are mandatory. To create an act, the following sections are mandatory. To create an act, the following sections are mandatory. Under that, section 1. Under that, section 1. Underline section 1. Underline section. What is section 1, people? Short title, extent. Very good. Section 1 is called short title, extent. It's called short title, extent, and commencement. Short title, extent, and commencement. Yes, so short title will give you the name, extent will tell you who and all does it apply to, and commencement will tell you from when does it apply to. Very good. Yes, next heading is called section 2. Heading is called section 2, which is generic definitions. It's called generic definitions. Section 2 is called generic definitions. Yes, then, okay. Yes, section 3 is normally what you see in every act, but some acts are special. Some acts like income tax is very special. We don't put it in section 3. Generally, we call it charging. Very good. Heading is called charging section. It's not necessarily section 3. Some acts may it is section 3, some acts may it is section 4 also. So I don't want to confirm on that. I just simply want to say there should be a charging section, full stop. Right? So the heading is called section 1, section 2. Next one is charging section. Next one is called charging section, hyphen. Hyphen. What does charging section do, people? Confirms the scope of the act. It confirms the scope of the act. Charging section hyphen provides for the scope of the act. Provides for the scope of the act. Yes. Next, penal consequences. Heading is called penal consequences. Penal. Penal. Penal consequences. Hyphen. Sections. Hyphen. Sections which provide for the penal consequences. Hyphen. Sections which provide for the penalties and sections which provide for the penalties and prosecution. Prosecution. For prosecution, within bracket, imprisonment. Within bracket, imprisonment. Yes, sections which provide for the penalties, comma, prosecutions for any defaults made. For any defaults made. For any defaults made. Yes, next one is non-obstante sections. It's called non-obstante sections. NONOBSTANTE. It's called non-obstante sections. Non-obstante sections hyphen sections which hyphen sections which override sections which override another section. Sections override sections which override another section, comma, chapter, comma, act. Sections which override another section, comma, chapter, comma, act, comma, other laws, comma, other laws, comma, other laws. Yes, full stop, continue. It starts with the words. It starts with the words. Don't write. It starts with the words. That's all. It starts with the words. Yes, yes. Now, people, should I also teach you income tax 2025? Yes, मान के चले. I already told you people there is no difference between 1961 and 2025. English has been simplified. That's all. Yes. So what has happened is 2025 and 91 looks the same. Yes, they're all going to look the same. So what we'll do is let's do one thing. I will tell you what is the changes in 2025 also, so that when you go to the practical world, you can come and say, हाँ मेरे को पता है, दोनों ही पता है मेरे को. Right? So what we are going to do is it starts with the words to. When it comes to 1961, we use the word notwithstanding anything contained contrary in the act. That is what 1961 says. 2025 said, no, no, too big English, too heavy English. Let's make it simple. And so 2025 says, irrespective of anything contained contrary in the act. Logic, same here. English खाली change किया. Yes, so notwithstanding became irrespective, and therefore they said, we made a new law for you. कुछ नहीं किया. This is what law is. Yes. So what you're going to do, people, you're going to say it starts with, under that, you're going to break into two. You're going to break into two, put a line in the middle. Left one says ITA 1961. Right side says ITA 2025. What is ITA? Smart people. Yes. Left side is notwithstanding anything contrary contained in notwithstanding anything contrary contained in. Yes. Right side says irrespective of anything contrary contained in. Irrespective of anything contrary contained in. This is what is going to happen. Yes, yes. Next, subject to. Next is subject to provisions. Heading is called subject to provisions. Yes, so we've written section 1, section 2, charging section, penal consequences, non-obstantes, and now it is subject to. Well, subject to provisions. Hyphen. Provisions which, subject to is the provision. Subject to is the heading, people. Subject to is the heading, hyphen. Provisions which, subject to is the heading, hyphen. Provisions which contain, provisions which contain inferiority over, provisions which contain inferiority over other sections, comma, act, comma, नहीं, sections, comma, chapters, comma, लिखो लिखो लिखो, sections, comma, chapter, comma, act, comma, very good, comma, other laws, comma, other laws. Yes, yes, full stop, continue. These sections start with, these sections start with, start with, under double quotes, subject to the provisions of, these sections start with double quotes में subject to the provisions of dot dot dot, subject to the provisions of dot dot dot. That's all. Clear? Yes. This is how you create an act. This is how you create an act. Leaving me with the last item, which is called, people, what is missing? It's called delegation powers. Heading is called delegation powers. Heading is called delegation powers. Spelling is DELEGATION. Heading is called delegation powers. Delegation basically means passing on my powers. Passing on my powers. Yes, delegation powers hyphen. Section 2. Section 2. Authorize. Section 2. Authorize a specialized board. Section 2. Authorize. Section 2. Authorize a specialized board. Section 2. Authorize specialized boards who will have the powers. A section to authorize the specialized board who will have the powers to create rules, circulars, very good, to make powers to make, comma, amend, to make, comma, amend. People amend, matlab? Very good. To make, comma, amend rules, to make, comma, amend rules, comma, circulars, comma, notifications, comma, instructions, make, comma, amend rules, comma, circulars, comma, notifications, comma, instructions. Now we have not discussed about instructions, people, because it's not a formal document. Instructions is basically coming and giving an internal document. Basically the CBDT will give an instruction. He will come and say this person should transfer to this location, this person should transfer to this location. Nothing to do with me, nothing to do with India. It's more about their internal take care. Yes, and therefore it is not something which is part of laws. It's more for their administrative well-beings. Yes, so therefore it's not important, but generally they say that you can give an instruction also. Yes, now instructions are not something which is generally circulated to us. We will never get instructions, never will be informed to us. It will always be an internal document. At least circulars will be informed. When they pass it off in the law, they will come and say this is the circular. For me, I can refer it and I can confirm whether I am liking it or I don't like it, but instructions will never even be shared across with me. I don't even have the powers to look at it. I don't even have the powers to look at it. Are we clear? Yes, good. This is your formation of an act. Very good. Under that heading is now formation of a provisions. Formation of provisions. Heading is called formation of provisions. Formation of a provision. Yes, yes, yes. Under that, every law. Huh. It's a new heading, but it's under formation of an act. Yes, formation of a provision. Under that, yeah, every law drafted is every law drafted is based on the following rules. Every law drafted is based on the following rules and placements. Every law drafted is based on the following rules and placements. People, order of hierarchy we're talking. We start with section, subsection, clause, subclause, item. Very good. That is what it is. Yes. So every law is drafted based on the following rules and placements. Under that, hyphen section. Under that, hyphen section. Hyphen section. Hyphen matlab dash. Yes. So you're going to say, अच्छा ठीक है ये देख लेना. ये रहा. Yes, hyphen section. So it is done in the following template. You will have first section. You'll have first section, hyphen, always referred in numbers. मैं इसलिए नहीं दिखा रहा ना. Section, hyphen, always referred in numbers. People, whenever you see a section, you'll always see it in number template. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes or no? Yes. But you would have learned this in contract act or probably in other laws also. Suddenly you'll see something called 10A, 9B, 1010C. Something and all will go on. क्या चल रहा है? Expression. मतलब? People, sometimes when someone refers to you, he will not just use the word section 3. Sometimes you say 3A. Now A is not a clause, definitely. Yes. What is 3A? That is also a section only. But how come sections are always in numbers? No, suddenly and all A, B and all is coming. What is happening? These are subsequent amendments. When I created the law in the first day, I would have only put numbers. Later on, I would have realized someone is making a mistake. I need to bring in a new section. Now, obviously, people, when I bring in a new section, I can't suddenly bring it in the last. Because if you think about it, when I bring a section, it has to be linked to something. I'm creating chapters, no? So if I'm creating a chapter for salaries, for example, and if I have to bring in a new law, it should sit in salaries chapter only. But in salaries, I've already put 11 to 17. There is no more sections to place. In that case, I will introduce alphabets. I'll introduce alphabets. I will start using 17A, 17B, 17AA. Stuff like that will start. Stuff like that will start. People in income tax, technically, there are 298 sections. When I say technically, I mean by number terms. By number terms, actually, there are 840 sections because you start with the chapter called TDS. TDS chapter will start amazing. It will start with 194 and the chapter will get over. You like TDS one section only. You'll start with 194, then go to 194A, 194B, 194BB, 194C, 194D, DB, E के बाद F आएगा, फिर G आएगा, फिर I, IA, IB, IC, J, K, L, LA, उसके बाद M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. अभी T चल रहा है. Yes, it's basically Nirmala ma'am's way of coming and saying every year we'll introduce one extra alphabet. Yes, उनके घर में किसी को शायद English नहीं आ रही. Yes, so every year she will come and she'll bring a new alphabet and she'll go to her child and come and say, "Beta, see new alphabet for you. पढ़ो क्या लिखा है?" Yes, that is what is going on, people. Every single year, one new alphabet gets introduced in TDS chapter. Therefore, it are about 800 sections. This was also one of the reasons why the new income tax was being created. Because the problem what happened is with so many amendments coming in, sections में English आने लग गया. Yes, at certain point of time, alphabets got over. हम लोग Z तक पहुंच गए, उसके बाद कहाँ जाए? Right? At that point of time, income tax realized, you know what? If we keep continuing with this, Z के बाद we don't have another alphabet. Yes, and therefore they said, okay, let's realign the whole income tax act. Where and all we started using A, B, C, we will now make them new sections, which means now it is 194, 195, 196, 197 ऐसे चल रहा है. Yes, so income tax act 2025 is basically old wine, new bottle. That's all. इस difference में कुछ भी नहीं है. English सब same ही है. सब same है. The numbers have changed. Alphabets have gone down. Yes. Now that is only one time, people, if you think about it. Because 2025 they will realign all the English. 2026 again amendments will come. Again A, B, C will start. Yes. So it's a never-ending process. True Indians will always make amendments. No doubts about it. Right. तो हम लोग law खराब करते ही रहेंगे. They will keep changing it only. It is not going to happen. Just that we are realigning it right now. Nothing else we're doing. Right. Yes. Very good. That is what is happening. So what are we starting with? Sections. Sections are always having numbers. Sections are always having numbers. Under subsection starts. Let's see. Under section starts subsection. Under section you have subsection. Under section you have subsection. People, subsection always happens. Do you always start with subsection? No. Sometimes you may start with clause also. Reality rule is they should be related to each other. If they're related to each other, then it is subsection. Otherwise, it is very good. Subsection hyphen. Subsection hyphen. Only used when subsection hyphen. Only used when all the provisions in the section. Subsection hyphen. Only used when all the provisions in the section are linked to each other. Only used when all the provisions in the sections are linked to each other. Yes, full stop, continue. These are also referred by numbers. These are also referred by numbers. Yes, next under that is, go for it. Next one is clause. People, when do you use clause? You can use it after subsection also. If you have it, you'll use it either after subsection or directly after section, depending on linkage. Yes, depending on linkage. Sub clause hyphen used after subsection. Used after subsection within bracket if if linked items linked items if linked items close bracket or directly after section or directly after section within bracket if not linked items if not linked items. Yes, so clause is used after subsection if linked items or directly after section if it is not linked items. Full stop, continue. Are these are expressed in these are expressed in numbers or lowercase letters. These are expressed in numbers or lowercase letters. Basically, I will start using A, B, double A, AAB, triple A, C. All those things will start happening there. Yes, I'll show it to you right now. I'll go with that. Yes, let's write this people and I'll show you income tax act. Let's see if you're able to read the income tax act along with me. Yes, right now we have done under that. Go forward. Heading is called subclause. Heading is called subclause hyphen normally expressed in lowercase normally expressed in lowercase Roman numerals. Normally expressed in lowercase Roman numerals. What is Roman numerals? The I, the two I's, the three I's, the place where they didn't put efforts. Yes, वो ही सारी चीजें. So the lowercase Roman numerals. Done. Yes. After subclause we have items. We have items hyphen expressed in expressed in uppercase alphabets. Expressed in uppercase alphabets. Yes. So notice the placement of people. We start with numbers, then we go lowercase alphabets, then we go lowercase Roman numerals, then we are back to uppercase alphabets, which means next thing is very good. Sub item is sub item hyphen expressed in sub item hyphen expressed in uppercase Roman numerals. Expressed in uppercase Roman numerals. Done? Done? Yes. Please put an example down. Note on the example left and right. Note on the example left and right. Yes. Yes. People help read. Help read. This is section 2, clause 14, subclause 3, item B. Very good. Sub item 1. Sub item 1. Yes. Write it down like this. Note down. Note down. क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ? हाँ. क्यों? सेक्शन 2 के बाद क्लॉज ही आता है ना. पीपल सेक्शन 2 के बाद क्या आता है? Template same ही है, section, clause, sub clause, item, sub item, correct है. There can be exceptions. There can be exceptions. I'm telling you generally. We wrote the word generally there, right? It's generally expressed in those things, which means exceptions are always an exception. We'll do. पहले ये तो खत्म करो. Yes, so it is section 2, clause 14, subclause 3, item number B, sub-item number 1. Sub-item number 1. Now, people, this may be wrong. Man has guess kiya. I've just written some random thing for your explanation purposes. The alphabets may be wrong, the expression may be wrong. It is not even an actual section, just to clarify to you. Yes, section 214 is capital asset definition and does not have that many lists. Right? मैं छुप के डाला हूं so that you understand things, nothing else. Clear? Yes, we're on the right side. We're on the right side. Help me out, people. It is section. What is amendment? This is section. Very good. This is called section 12AB. It is not subsection and all, people. Understand, every time I'm going next, I'm always having a bracket everywhere. Which means the moment you're seeing 12AB, 12AB itself is a section, which means 12AB was introduced on a later stage. It was later stage. Very, very long back, we had section 12, which talked about trust. Not the trust, charitable trust. Right? And then we introduced something called 12A. Then later on, they said, no, 12A is wrong. Let's do 12AA. And then they later on came and said 12AA bhi galat hai, let's do 12AB. That's how 12AB came into existence. So it came after a very long time. 12AB was introduced in 2021. Yes, so that was the time when 12AB was introduced. So that's for you see an amendment like that. Sorry? Because 12B is a different section altogether. 12AB is about procedural aspects. So they wanted to see how you register yourself. That's why they put it as 12AB. Had they put it in 12B, it will become a computational rule. That's what I said. No, the placement is very critical. If you unfortunately end up putting in 12B, what will happen? 12 itself is talking about computational. 12B becomes registration now. I wanted to always have registration first and then do computations. So I can't change the placement accordingly. That's why the rule. Very valid question. Clear? Yes, yes. Read for me. Section 12AB, subsection 1, clause B, subclause 2, item B. Very good. Item number B and sub item number 2. Go for it. Go for it. Yes. If you ask me, I'll say this is the most authentic way of reading it because see, notice carefully, everything is placed properly. I have section properly done. Subsection is given numbers. Clauses come in letters in lowercase. Letters in lowercase. Subclasses come as Roman numerals in lowercase. And then I got uppercase of letters and uppercase of Roman numerals. Perfect placement of section. This is how the section will lead to you. Clear? Yes, very good. This is how your placement of a section looks like, but sections have a little bit extra things. We have done what is the placement of section, subsection, clause, subclause, item, and sub-item. Every provision will also have two more things. One is provisos and very good. Next one. Next one is called proviso. The same template of what you've written section, subsection, people. If you've written section in a heading template, proviso is also a heading. I have differentiated using blue color, so तुम्हें जैसे समझ में आ रहा है देख लो. I have colors to play. Yes, it's called proviso. People, what is a proviso? It's an exception to the main rule. Yes, proviso hyphen exception to the main rule. Proviso is exception to the main rule. People, which one is superior? Full stop. Full stop. Continue. A proviso is termed superior over the a proviso is termed superior over the main rule. Main rule. A proviso is termed superior over the main rule, which is, people, you know how to write which is shortcut. That is होता है वो. Which is VIZ. थोड़ा जेंसी तुम सिखाओ, थोड़ा मैं सिखाता हूँ. Yes, this is called which is it's an overriding provision, which is it is an overriding provision. It is an overriding provision. Up, if you think about it, people, if I have to override a section itself, I will use non-obstante. But if I want to override a general rule, I will use proviso. So when you see it inside a section, it is called proviso. When you see it as a new section itself, it's called non-obstante. That is how the placements look like. Any doubts? Clear? Next, last one is called, very good, explanations. It's explanations. Hyphen used for used for defining, comma, used for defining, comma, expanding the scope of, used for defining, comma, expanding the scope of the main rule. Yes, follow scope. Yes, yes. So explanations are for defining or expanding the scope of the main rule. Full stop. Continue. Explanations are explanations are given in explanations are given in numbers. Explanation are given in numbers. Yes. So here they're being safe people. They're writing explanation, explanation one, explanation two, explanation three. That's how it goes. They don't elaborate too much. Yes. So they don't have various English. Yes. Whereas when it comes to provisos, provisos has three ways of writing it. It says provided that, provided further, provided also. Yes. It's called provided that, provided further, provided also. Yes. Not relevant for you. Putting it out. The moment you see provided, it means it's a proviso. Very simple, straightforward. That is what the rule says. Clear? Yes. Very good. Last one. Last one. Heading is called, heading is called creating a, no, how do I write it? Heading is called reference of a definition. Heading is called reference of a definition. Reference of a definition. People, whenever I want to refer a definition, I always look into the section first, section 2, general clauses, law dictionaries. Very good. Yes, hyphen. A meaning of a word. What did write the heading is? Reference of a definition, hyphen. The meaning of a word. The meaning of a word should always look in the following sequence. The meaning of a word should always be looked in the following sequence. The meaning of the word should always be looked in the following sequence. Under that, point number A is respective section. Point number A is respective section. Point number 2 is section 2. Point number A is respective section. Point number B is section 2. Point number 3 is General Clauses Act. Someone remembers the year? Huh? 99? ऐसे मेरे को याद नहीं है पर पूछ रहा हूँ. मेरे को भी याद नहीं पीपल, तो तुम बोले तो करेक्ट ही है. 1882 नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स है. 1897 ऐसे लिखा है, मेरे को नहीं पता. हाँ 1897. Yes. 3 is General Clauses Act. 4 is Law Dictionaries. Law Dictionaries. Last one is Customary Practices. Last one is Customary Practices. Okay. Yes. Good. Sorry. That's what we're coming next. Yes. Next heading is called types of definitions. Heading is called types of definitions. Heading is called types of definitions. PP we learned definitions are of three types: inclusive, exclusive. Very good. Types of definition under that point number one. Sorry, matlab? Types of definition is the heading. It's a new thing altogether. Microsoft Word खोल के बैठा है. Types of definition under that point number one. Inclusive. Point number one is inclusive. Hyphen. Hyphen. People, wider scope, shorter scope. Hyphen. Provides a wider scope. Inclusive definition. Hyphen. Provides a wider scope and may include. Provides a wider scope and may include other related generic items and may include other related generic items. Other related generic items. People, I'm not just like that including generic items. It should be related. Very important, it's related. That is why it is called adjustum generis. Yes, yes. So it's always supposed to be related items. Full stop, continue. It starts with the words. Very good. It starts with the word includes. It starts with the words includes. Starts with the words includes. Includes will come in double quotes. Yes, point number two. Exclusive. Exclusive hyphen removes a particular set of items. Removes a particular set of items. Removes a particular set of items. Full stop, continue. Everything else is included. Everything else is included. Full stop. It starts with the word excludes. It starts with the word excludes. Yes, yes. Last one is exhaustive. Hyphen. Hyphen. It it contains. सारा मैं ही दूंगा क्या? Come on. Let's see how good your English is. Limited. मतलब it provides the exact scope. It provides the exact scope. Provides the exact scope. Yes, yes, full stop. It starts with the word means. It starts with the word means. Clear? Yes, yes. Just searching for Google people, there was this Greek word which I was trying to refer to. There is a word called as expressio unius est exclusio altrius. Some Harry Potter language. Basically says the expression mentioned for one thing implies the exclusion for another. Yes, when you use the word exclusion, people, that's what it means, right? When I say excludes, it means the moment I exclude this, everything else becomes included. Yes, that's how the Greek word is. I don't understand the Greek word. It says expressio unius est exclusio altrius. नहीं चाहिए, जरूरत नहीं है. Basically to that. And you would have learned one Greek word in sale of goods act. There is something called nemo dat quad non habit. मतलब you cannot give what you don't have. Yes. हाँ, अभी फाउंडेशन याद आ रहा है. और क्या क्या पढ़ लिया? One by one. Consensus addendum. हाँ, basically mutual consent. Very good. Next. Alligators. Delegatus. Non-potest. Delegate. वाह, क्या मतलब? You cannot pass on your responsibilities. हाँ, ठीक है. Next. Quid pro quo is basically is as is. हाँ. Caveat vinditar मतलब let the sell let the seller a buyer. Let the buyer be well. Why should the seller be well? Sorry, मेरे को आलियो ओलियो समझने में बहुत टाइम लग गया था. I did not eat that pasta for a lot of time because मेरे को स्पेलिंग नहीं आ रही थी. हाँ, मतलब ए हाँ, गिव अप. अच्छा, अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड. क्या, अयो बाप रे. नेमो जुडेक्स इन मतलब you can't judge your own case. You basically are here to appeal. You should not be the one judging yourself. That's obvious. No? What is this case law about? Huh? Quantum people. यार, तुम्हारे में आवाज नहीं, मेरे में आवाज नहीं है. जल्दी करो ना. क्वांटम मैरिज मतलब you pay what you reap. हाँ, so what you reap basically. So what you reap is what you say. इंग्लिश में वही तो बोलते हैं ना. Quasi is not a Greek phrase, it's a Greek word. Yes. Quasi we discussed last class. I told you quasi judicial is basically meaning that you have the same powers but you don't have the same authority. Fair enough. Yes, you learn a lot of other Englishes along with me also, people. I'll give it to you once in a while just to show off, not relevant for exam. Yes, so we learn it all together. Right now we learned one thing called, I don't know, मेरे को भी याद नहीं है. It's something like that. Two things which I know and I can show off is VIZ. VIZ means which is, and one IE you already know, that is. Oh, that is clear. Yes, let's keep that thoughts in mind, people, and we proceed forward with that. Any doubts on the loss? Are we good enough to go? Can we enter into my subject now? Perfect. Let's enter into our subject, people. The subject called as Income Tax Act 1960. Yes, we're going to learn the subject called as Income Tax Act 1961. Now, let me tell you the format of classes which I have, people. The format of classes is that the notes are already there in your book, right? So there is nothing else for me to discuss. What I'm going to do is we are going to read the notes, and at one point of time I will stop and I will ask you, आपको इसमें क्या समझ नहीं आया? Yes. At that stage, if you come and tell me, Rahul, I understood everything, I will start asking questions. If you tell me, Rahul, I did not understand anything, I will still ask questions. मतलब मैं मेरा काम अच्छे से करूंगा. Your job is to confirm to yourself if you did not understand something. Are we clear? Yes, good. We're going to learn the subject called as income tax laws 1960, income tax laws, people. And to make a law, we already discussed, there should be first a requirement. Requirement should be authorized, and the authorization comes from constitution. Any authorization to do something comes from the constitution. Off with your books, people. Let's discuss this together. Yes, I am in the first page with your books. I'm in the first page of your books. Shall we? Yes. Let's read together. Let's read together. People, for you to create a law, you need a constitution. And so therefore, for income tax, the constitution comes from article number 265. Article number 265. Can you read this once for me together? Very good. So for you to create a constitution of an act, you need to have an authority of a law. Any doubts on this line? Sure about this? मैं फर्स्ट पेज में निकालूंगा देखना अच्छे से हाँ no doubts everything is clear sure about this yes good people question is like this imagine this carefully you have told me that for a constitution to have the constitution said no taxes shall be levied or collected by an authority of law now as a normal human being I have a very simple question why did you want two words why did you want two words look at this carefully and tell me when I say no taxes shall be levied by an authority of law did you understand the meaning yes. When I said no tax will be collected except by an authority of law, did you understand the meaning? Why did they waste time writing two words? ठीक है. People, had I written levied also the answer would have come right. Had I said collected also the answer would have come out right. Why did you have to use two different words? Very good. People understand this carefully. Imagine if I make the law. Imagine if I make the law and I say no tax shall be levied except by an authority of law, which means authority now has the power to levy. Authority has the power to levy. Yes or no? With that, people, Modi Sarkar comes one day on the stage and comes and says, "Bhai और बहनों, कल से लगेगा 50% tax. We will levy 50% tax." We said, "Jai Ho Modi," and we went. और कुछ कर नहीं सकते people. Yes. So we said Jai Ho and we left off the day. Yes. 1 year later, department comes to me and comes and says, "Beta, I want tax." I'm like, "Sir, नहीं मिलेगा." He's like, "But Modi Sarkar said." I'm like, "Yes, he said, but I don't want to give." He's like, "Why do you not want to give?" I'm like, "Sir, because there is one Gunda who came to my home one day. He collected and went. So as per me, I have paid the tax." But then he said, "Rahul, you should only give the tax to me." I asked, "Kaha likha hai?" Yes or no? Yes. Law came and said, "No tax shall be levied by the law," which means you have the powers to levy. You don't have the powers to collect. Apo collection power is with anyone. And that Gunda came and collected and went, which means I have done my responsibility. Mistake is on. Go collect from him. Correct, not correct. Yes. On that logic, people imagine if the law was different. If the law came and said, no taxes shall be collected except by an authority of law, which means authority now has the power to, does not have the power to, which means Modi Sarkar comes and says, Beta, I will levy 50 percentage. Tomorrow, department comes and says, I want tax. I go, open my wallet, give him 1 rupee ka coin. And I, sir, here are tax. He's like, Nini Rahul, I want 50 percentage. I'm like, sir, you have the power to. So therefore, I gave it to you. You don't have the powers to, which means I have the power to levy now. Macon, government of the people, for the people. Which means I have the powers to do whatever I want. And I decided for myself that I will only pay 1 rupee sikka. Which means I have the powers to levy. I levied 1 rupee for myself. Here is the money for you. Here is the money for you. Which means both the powers needs to be delegated properly. And therefore you have the word levied or very good. Both of them are equally important. Yes. So comprehensively covering your law is very, very critical from an exam standpoint, from a practical standpoint as well. Are we clear? Yes, very good. With article number 265 coming out of the place, we have now decided tax can be levied or collected by the authority, which means authority now has to first decide to levy. It cannot happen just by Modi Sarkar coming on the stage and coming and saying Kar do. It has to be a law, which means I need to now give them powers to make a law. Powers to, and therefore comes in article number 246. Article number 246 gives the powers to the parliament to make laws. To make laws. But when we discussed about this, I told you people laws are of three types. One is union list, state list, concurrent list. A union list will decide where the powers are sitting with central government. A state list will decide where the powers are sitting with state government, and a concurrent list is where powers are sitting with both the parties. Both the parties. Give me examples, people. Companies Act is union list. It's applicable to the whole of India. Everyone you can create a company, so it is a union list. Income taxes, which means everywhere I own in India, I have to pay tax. I have to pay. Correct, not correct? Yes. People, GST is, it's a concurrent list. It's a concurrent list. You will learn it later on with Vivek Bhaiya that when it comes to GST, GST has three acts. There is something called CGST, there is something called SGST, there is something called IGST, which means central also has the power, state also has the power. Together also they have a power called as IGST. Therefore, it is called concurrent list. It's called concurrent list. Very good. People, if I tell you something called stamp duty payments, very good. Every state has their own ways of paying stamp duty charges. Yes. If I ask you municipal taxes, very good. It's done with state powers. It's done with state powers. What else did you have learned? Indian Contract Act, Union List, General Clauses Act, Union List, SOGA is Union List. All those are part of Union List. State list में, by the way, just to clarify, in your ICA exam syllabus, you don't have any kind of state laws. Will never be discussed for part of you because it becomes difficult when you create a nationwide paper. You don't know which law to test, and therefore they don't test you on state laws. GST is an exception. GST alone is being tested to you. But when they test you GST also, they will only test you on central laws. They will not test you on the state laws. State are not part of discussions of. Yes. So for me, people, when I discuss the subject with you, I will be discussing union list, which is income tax laws, which is income tax laws. But there is one problem. If you notice here carefully, it says taxes on income other than agricultural income, which means income tax has come and clarified that they are only applicable for all incomes other than, which means agriculture income went to, why? State का land है. Income is also from Chennai only, no? आज मैं प्रोफेक्स में पढ़ा रहा हूँ, चेन्नई में पढ़ा रहा हूँ. Why is income tax collecting it? मैं एग्रीकल्चर नहीं करना, एग्रीकल्चर इनकम चाहिए मेरे को. तुम्हारा एग्रीकल्चर तुम करो, मेरे को क्या. What is more relevant here, people? Is the agriculture relevant or the agriculture income more relevant? Income is what I'm bothered about. You do what temperature you want. Why do I care? क्यों? नहीं दे सकते is different. What is very less? Agriculture. Regular ಮುಖ್ಯமா ಅವನಿಗೆ. நீ ஃபார்ம் பில் ஓபன் பண்ண, ஃபார்ம் பில் நெக்ஸ்ட் டே வந்துடும், 24 hours வந்துடும் உனக்கு காசு. ஆர்டர் இருக்கியா? யாரெல்லாம் ஃபார்ம் பில் ஆர்டர் இருக்கீங்க? ஃபேஸ்புக் தெரியாதா? சரி, ஓல்டு ஜென்ரேஷன் விட்டுரு. Is the frequency important for you? Because in income tax also I'm going to make some incomes which are one time, gift and all, for example. Right? People, this all depends on your past cultures. For those who know this carefully, before independence, the major source of income for India was, and therefore when Income Tax Act 1961 was being created, one thing which every state came and said is, boss, agriculture is my bread and butter. If this goes to the central, where will I get money from? Where will I get money from? And therefore in 1961 they used to come and say, no, do whatever you want. Agriculture will not go to central, let it be with the respective states. So all states fought for it, and therefore it was decided that agriculture will remain with states. But yes, like he rightly said, there is unfortunately currently no tax on agriculture. There is no tax on agriculture. It has moved to states, which means some states have the power to levy it. Do they do it or not is a different conversation. They don't have to consult anyone on the globe, on the national level, which means a state can come and say, Assam can one day come and say, I want to levy tax. Can someone object? No, they can't object. They have to give it to him. They have to give it to him. So every state has their own powers to do it their place. Right now in India, yes, most of the states don't have any tax on agriculture. That is how it has been designed in India, for that matter. Are we clear? Apo, one thing is very clear, people. When we discuss this subject with you, and every time you see the word agriculture income, I will say, I will say for me it is not relevant. For me it is not relevant, which means under this subject, when you discuss this subject with me, I will tell you agriculture income is not taxable. Is not taxable. It is fully exempt from tax. It is fully exempt from tax. So I've already taught you one part of income tax. Part of income tax is going forward, agriculture income is exempt. Going forward, agriculture income is exempt. Any doubts on this part? Yes, we will have a separate chapter for it itself, people. We have a new chapter altogether for agriculture. We'll discuss it there. Don't worry about it. Right now, just know the fact that agriculture income is fully very good. With that understanding, we have now understood that we are in entry number 82, and therefore you have tax on all incomes other than agriculture incomes. Clear with me on this? Yes, great. With now you have understood tax can be done on central list, but I have still not discussed what kind of taxes. We have two kinds of taxes in India. One is direct tax, one is indirect tax. Very good. Income tax sits in direct tax, GST sits in direct tax, any kind of gift tax sits in non-relatives. Direct tax or indirect tax? People think and tell me, imagine I'm giving the gift. Should I pay the tax and give the gift, or the other person receiving the gift should pay the tax? Then it is indirect tax. People, if I'm going to give the gift and I'm also going to pay the tax, then it is indirect tax. No. But if I'm going to give the gift and that person is going to pay the tax, then it is direct tax. Tell me what is right. People सोच के देखो ना, एक आईफोन भी देना, साथ में किडनी भी बेचा है, और कितना बेचूं मैं जेब से? Yes or no? People, I've already given the iPhone with the kidney. I don't have any more kidneys to. Yes or no? Yes. For paying tax, if I have to sell one more kidney, then it becomes a problem for me. Yes or no? Let the other person sell a kidney. We'll share one kidneys. Correct? No. Correct? No. People, gift tax is a direct tax. It's under income tax, therefore automatically becomes a direct tax. That is how the law is. Yes. But my question is very simple. When you look at something, how do you decide it is direct or indirect? Shift of burden. ये तो English படிச்சிருக்கீங்க. What is shift of burden? 1 second. Let him complete. Okay. GST में तो क्या करेगा? I'm somehow confused, but let's try. People, imagine a case where I come and tell you there is a guy called Mr. Chota and a guy called Mr. Mota. I like body shaming, don't worry. Sue karoge kar lo jao. Yes, so I have a guy called Mr. Chota and Mr. Mota. Chota is going to sell goods to Mota. Yes, price of 1 lakh. Price of 1 lakh. Mota is going to obviously purchase only. Mota is going to pay money. Mota is going to pay money. So Mota is going to pay money to Chota. हाँ, किसके लिए डायरेक्ट टैक्स, किसके लिए इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स? ए दोनों के लिए इनडायरेक्ट कैसे? हैं? अच्छा अच्छा, वो भी एक्सप्लेन, ठीक है. तो इमेजिन दिस एग्जांपल पीपल, वेयर छोटा इज सेलिंग टू मोटा. छोटा इज सेलिंग गुड्स वर्थ 1 lakh. नाउ व्हाट छोटा विल हैव टू डू? छोटा विल लेवी जीएसटी. Chota will levy GST. So Chota will levy, let's say, 5% GST and will therefore charge 1 lakh 5,000. When Mota pays money, Mota will pay 1 lakh 5,000. Chota will take the 1 lakh 5,000 and send it to government. How much? Which means Chota will take the 1 lakh 5,000 and send 5,000 to government. This 5,000 which he sent to government is indirect tax, because apparently according to you he's shifting burden. Where Mota was supposed to pay tax, Chota is now paying the tax. हाँ वही तो, where Mota was supposed to pay tax, Chota is paying the tax. Hey, 5,000 who paid? 5,000 who paid? Chota only paid, no? To government. Acha. 5,000 who paid to government? Who should have paid to government? Mota. Apo burden has shifted. हाँ कि ना? Correct, not correct? Yes or no? Yes. On the contrary, look at this carefully. Chota is now earning 1 lakh, on which Chota has to pay income tax, assuming 30 percentage. Assuming 30 percentage, which means he will pay 30,000 to government. Which means in this case, Chota is also paying 30,000 to government, also paying 5,000 to government. The difference is when Chota pays 30,000, that is Chota's money, Chota pays tax. Chota's money, Chota's pays tax. But when Chota is paying 5,000, Chota is paying 5,000 on behalf of, and therefore it is correct ना? यही तो तुम लोग पढ़े, सब गलत पढ़े हो. People, if you tell me, is this the reason why it is direct tax and indirect tax? According to you, is this the reason why it is direct tax or indirect tax? Yes or no? Yes or no? Very good. People, I'm taking you back to your foundation. I'm taking you back to your foundation. Somewhere in जितना मैंने accounts पढ़ाया था, somewhere in companies accounts, you have this chapter called as debentures. And debentures में there is this one topic called debenture interest. During debenture interest, you would have passed some journal entries. And during journal entries, you will see something called. Very good. Same example, people. Imagine this example where there is a guy called Chota, there is a guy called Mota. Chota sells goods for 1 lakh. Chota sells goods for 1 lakh. Mota is paying 1 lakh. But at this stage, Mota will not pay 1 lakh because Mot because Mota has to now do TDS. Mota has to now do TDS. What is TDS is my subject, people. I'll discuss on a very last day. Yes, last days of the batch I will discuss with you. When Mota has to pay 1 lakh, he will go and tell Chota, dear Chota, this 1 lakh for you is an income on which TDS is applicable, and therefore I will not pay you full 1 lakh. I will cut some number and give it to you. I'll cut some number and give it to you, assuming the rate is 10 percentage. Assuming the rate is 10 percentage, Mota will go and say, I will not pay you 1 lakh, I will pay you. Very good. So which means Mota will say, I will pay you 90,000 rupees because the balance 10,000 will be paid by me to. बहुत ही बढ़िया. Tell me people, TDS which is paid by Mota, direct tax, indirect tax. Direct tax, direct tax. Tell me people, this 10,000 rupees which Mota paid was to be paid by Chota, but was paid by. Appa, how the hell is it direct tax? हाँ कि ना? हाँ कि ना? Yes. Apo, you telling me that Rahul, because I was supposed to pay but someone else pays, therefore it is direct tax, is wrong. Hello, because here is the case where I am not paying my tax, someone else is paying on my behalf, and still it is direct tax. Still it is correct, not correct. Hey, just to clarify, TDS direct tax ही है, it is in my subject only. Just because मैंने English change कर दिया उसे indirect tax नहीं हो गया वो. It is still direct tax. Apo, one thing is very clear. Just because you're trying to shift the burden does not mean it becomes direct tax. Hello. Yes or no? People, same example. Vivek Bhaiya will teach you. Indirect tax will teach you that in indirect tax you have something called RCM, reverse charge mechanism. It's called reverse charge mechanism. What is reverse charge mechanism, people? Is that instead of Mota giving money to Chota and then claiming credit, I will tell Chota itself will pay the tax and Chota will claim the credit. Chota will pay his tax and Chota will pay the credit, which means who was supposed to pay? Chota. Who paid? Chota. Everything was done. मैं correct हूँ. मैं correct हूँ. People, तुम्हें नहीं समझ में आएगा, छोड़ दो. Point is very simple. Point is very simple. Person who paid is the person who is actually paying. Here is a case where an RCM Chota is paying because Chota was supposed to pay. Does it change the characteristic to direct tax? Which means first logic that shift of burden is the case is wrong. It's wrong. Let's be clear on that. Let's be clear on that. ये तुमने book में पढ़ा है, मैं मना नहीं करूंगा. Even in your study material it is there. Does not mean it is correct. Does not mean it is correct. That is not the difference. Give me another difference. Okay, fair enough. हो बाप रे, क्या है प्रोग्रेसिव इन नेचर? कौन? मतलब इनकम टैक्स इज ओपन माइंडेड एंड आई डोंट नो व्हाट प्रोग्रेसिव मतलब क्या? रेट? क्या बेच रहा है तो? इनकम की बात कर रहा है ना? यू मीन टैक्स? हाँ ठीक है, मैं कुछ और समझा था बट ठीक है. Yes. Now, people, let's understand his example first. So, his example is very simple. I'll give you the same logic. Vivek Bhai will anyway teach you this issue, but I'm letting you know. Imagine a very simple example, people, that Rahul is planning to sell iPhones. Rahul is planning to sell iPhones. Now, Rahul does not know how to make iPhones. What will Rahul do? Approach Apple. Approach Apple. So, I will go to Apple and come and say, Dear Apples, I want to sell iPhone in my market. Why don't you sell me a few Apple products? Yes or no? So, imagine this first example. I will go to the Apple manufacturer and I will ask him, tell me what is the price. What is the price? So here is manufacturer coming and telling me, sir, the price is 30,000 rupees. On which Department of India comes and says, I have to levy GST. I have to levy GST. People, for the sake of convenience, let's assume 10 percentage rate and go. Yes, which means my GST levied is 3,000, giving me a net payable of this 33,000 will be paid by Rahul. Correct? Yes, Rahul will pay this 33,000 to the manufacturer. Manufacturer will take 3,000 rupees, send it off to government. Agreed, not agreed? Yes. Now Rahul has the iPhone in his hand. Rahul will want to sell it forward. So Rahul decided to go and find a customer, and he told that customer, I am ready to sell this to you. Customer will ask, how much? I said, obviously people, मारवाड़ी लोग हैं हम लोग. 1 लाख. बीच में प्रॉफिट नहीं कमाए तो मतलब क्या? Yes. So I sold it to him for 1 lakh rupees. But then I told him, boss, because I'm selling for 1 lakh, I have to levy GST, assuming 10 percentage, 10,000, which means I'll go to him and ask him to pay 1 lakh 10,000. Hello. Yes. Now, people at this stage, I will go to government and come and say, dear government, I am supposed to pay you 10,000, which has been given to me by the customer, but I will not pay you 10,000 rupees. I'll pay only 7,000 rupees because I already gave you 3,000 rupees. This already gave you 3,000 is what we call as ITC. We call it as ITC, input tax. Very good. So I will go to government and I'll come and say, sir, your output is 10,000. Your input tax credit is 3,000. Therefore, I'll net pay you. Agreed. Now, if you notice this carefully, customer is the final consumer. He is not going to further sell, which means 7,000, 10,000 rupees which he paid from his pocket. For him, it is an expense. For him, it is an This 10,000 rupees has reached the government. Tell me how. 3,000 from manufacturer, 7,000 from Rahul, 10,000 has reached the government. Government wanted 10,000, government got the 10,000. Got the 10,000. This is what he says is a shift of burden. Because technically, if you understand, Rahul was supposed to pay 3,000 from his pocket. But Rahul never paid the 3,000 rupees because at one stage Rahul paid the 3,000. At another stage, Rahul got back the credit. Net number for Rahul is 0. Net number for Rahul is 0 because Rahul has not incurred any expense here. All the expense was incurred by customer. So customer incurred the full 10,000 worth of expense, and therefore for the customer it became shift of burden. Agreed? This does not happen in income tax is what you're saying. Sure. This does not happen in income tax is what you're saying. Agreed? Yes. Okay. Imagine this example, people. For the sake of convenience, I'm saying imagine tax rate is 10 percentage under income tax also. Under income tax also. Now I don't know what is Mr. Manufacturer doing. I don't know his expenses. I am assuming his income is 30,000. Manufacturer will pay 3,000 for tax. Manufacturer will pay. Agreed, not agreed? Yes. Now look at this carefully and tell me. Rahul is selling the product for 1 lakh. Upper Rahul's profit is 1 lakh. Rahul should have paid tax on 1 lakh. Rahul should have paid tax on 1 lakh, which means Rahul should have paid 10,000. But Rahul will say, no, no, wait. Before I earned the 1 lakh rupees, I spent 30,000 from my side. I spent 30,000 from my side. Because I spent the 30,000 rupees, my profit is only 7,000 rupees. My profit is only 7,000 rupees, on which I will pay you tax. On which I'll pay you tax 7,000 rupees. Now look at Rahul and tell me. Look at Rahul and tell me. Rahul technically shifted his burden. True or false? True or false? People, Rahul should have paid tax of 10,000. Rahul only paid tax of 7,000 rupees. Now, if you think about it, in GST, how are you shifting burden? When you further sell, in GST, you're shifting burden by further selling. In income tax, I'm shifting burden by further incurring. Hey, yes or no? People in GST, if you don't further sell, because the customer did not further sell, customer paid 10,000. If the customer was able to further sell, he would have also shifted burden. Same logic in income tax. In income tax, if I'm able to sell only, I will make income. If I don't sell, I will also not make any income. I will have no tax. Apo technically in income tax also I can shift burden by more expenses. Correct? No. People in this example, if you think about this, customer has received the phone. Customer has received the phone. For the customer, it is an expense. It's an now customer will make profit somewhere. He's not buying for unnecessary reasons. He will make profit somewhere. Imagine if he made a profit of 1 lakh. He will tell, sir, I made a profit of 1 lakh. My expenses 1 lakh. My expenses 1 lakh. My profit becomes, my tax becomes. Apo technically, had he not incurred this 1 lakh rupees for iPhone, he would have had to pay the full tax. The moment he incurred the iPhone, he did not pay the tax, which means he is also shifting burden by incurring more. Correct. बात तो वही हो गया ना. What if I reduce my income? That's all exactly. So I'm shifting. So okay, let me put it 1 second. Let me put it this way. By increasing my expense, what happens? My tax comes down. But the more I increase my expense, someone else's income increases. By incurring more expense, someone's income increases, because as much as I'm reducing my tax, someone's income is increasing and his tax is increasing. Apo my tax shift is happening to him. I should have paid the tax. He is now paying the tax. Burden shift हुआ नहीं हुआ? बात तो सेम ही है. जीएसटी में भी वही है, मेरे को गुड्स आ रहा है. You're looking for money there, I'm looking for goods here. बात तो वही है. Monetary or kind is the same thing, no? Yes, yes. One thing, let me clarify to you. Shift of burden is a myth. I'll put it very honestly to you. Shift of burden is a myth. It is there in your book. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I'll tell you people, मैं भी वही पढ़ाऊंगा. I say book comes and says shift of burden होता है. I'll also say होता है until you clear exams. After you clear exams, you say कौन ICA क्या चल रहा है पता नहीं. Yes, I am qualified enough. I can do it. I can do it. Point is, people, not everything written in the book is correct. You have to always use your head properly. Yes. Apo, if you come and ask me practically, I will tell you shift of burden never happens in both the cases, or it happens in both the cases. The logic remains the same. I do not differentiate something between direct and indirect based on shift of burden rules. Based on shift of burden rules, because there is a very famous meme in India, people. Someone comes and asks how to save tax. One person will say, stop earning income. Easy. Yes or no? If you earn only, you will pay. Garib raho to kya tension? Yes, you be poor in life, no tax for you. Simple, straightforward. Apo, what will I do? I will keep remaining poor. Someone else will keep becoming richer. He will keep paying my tax. And I will say, मैंने कर दिया burden shift. कर लो. Yes or no? Yes. Point is, people, shift of burden does not happen that way. Does not happen that way. Any doubts on this part? Clear? Apo, first difference that shift of burden takes place is wrong. Is wrong. मेरे को जनता ही नहीं है. हाँ, some progressive regressive क्या है ये? The more my income, the more my. नहीं. After 10 lakhs, everyone is paying 30 only. तो ठीक है. Income, wealth, property, or okay. Before you go to that, what is the difference between wealth and property? इनकम तो मेरे को पता है, वेल्थ और प्रॉपर्टी में क्या डिफरेंस है? वेल्थ इज मतलब इफ राहुल बाइज अ बंगला, राहुल हैज टू पे टैक्स. जीएसटी या इनकम टैक्स? तो वेल्थ का क्या मतलब है फिर? Okay, don't give me definition. My question is, are you paying tax on your bangla? Income tax, I'm asking. So that's only on income. No, where is the wealth coming in? जरूरत से ज्यादा कंफ्यूज कर रहा है. That is also income. No? तो रेंट पे, इनकम पे लग रहा है ना, प्रॉपर्टी पे ना लग रहा है. तो रेंट नहीं कमा तेरे को नहीं मिलेगा टैक्स. प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स इज इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स. Yes, okay. Forget this part. People, give me one definition which makes sense that yes, this is direct, this is indirect. Full stop. This is the actual reason why something is called direct, why something is called indirect. Full stop. Quick. आई एम हरियाणवी गए, तुम जो बोलोगे मैं गलत ही बोलूंगा, टेंशन नहीं है. वेरी गुड. दैट इज द ओनली एक्चुअल आंसर. That is the only actual answer, people. If you understand this carefully, direct tax basically means a tax levied on your income, and indirect tax means a tax levied on your expense. Full stop. It's a tax levied on your expense. If you levy a tax on your expense, I call it indirect tax. If you levy it on your income, I call it direct tax. मेरे लिए इतना ही logic है. इसके ऊपर का logic doesn't make sense. Anything else does not make sense. Yes, what he told people, the progressive and regressive and all, is not a difference. It's a characteristic. It's a characteristic. If you come and tell me if I'm earning more, obviously I have to pay more. This is called progressive apparently. I don't know how it is progressive, but hey, right? And on the other hand, we have something called regressive. Regressive means, but thank God, it's not like lower income, higher tax. Yes, regressive means no matter who takes it, answer will remain the same. If Ambani buys an iPhone or Rahul buys an iPhone, GST will remain the same. I'm not looking at the person's face and coming and giving a number. Yes, so that is how the indirect tax looks like. So if you come and ask me the difference between direct and indirect is very simple. Tax levied on income is direct tax. Tax levied on expenses. Full stop, Katam. That is the logic. That is the logic. Any doubts on this part? Are we clear enough to go? Yes. Now, just to clarify, someone was talking about property tax. Property taxes. An indirect tax. Property tax is an indirect tax. It's a state collected indirect tax, which basically comes and says, this is technically my land. I'm giving it to you for usage, and therefore you're paying me tax on that. You're paying me tax on that. Property tax is an indirect tax. It's not a direct tax. It is an indirect tax. No doubts about it. Clear? Yes. Now, stuff like that, people, he was talking something about wealth tax and all. Wealth tax was a concept in India until 2011. Until 2011, there was a concept called wealth tax where they literally used to come and say, if you're owning bungalows, shares and all, you have to pay additional tax. Yes. At certain point of time, people got fed up and people said, how does this make sense? If you think about it, I earn 1 crore. You already asked me to pay 30 lakhs ka tax. I have in my hand 70 lakhs. I'm using the 70 lakhs only to buy the house. If you come and ask me tax on that once again, that technically becomes tax on tax. You're asking me tax on my already earned tax. And therefore, 2011, they decided let's abolish wealth tax. Wealth tax was taken away from India. And therefore, now we only have Income Tax Act. We only have Income Tax Act. Any doubts on this part? Are we clear enough to go? Yes. So two things we have learned, people. One is how do you levy tax? You levy tax by getting an approval from article number 265. After you get an approval, you need to create a law by article number 246. You are fixed under union list. You're fixed under union list, and I'm discussing with you what is called as direct tax loss. I'm discussing about this called as direct tax loss. Now, in your inter syllabus, it is not direct tax, it is income tax loss. As you move to finals, you will learn five more acts. You'll have five more acts to learn. There'll be Income Tax Act, Equalization Levy, Black Money Act, and stuff like that. So those things will come in your final level syllabus. In final levels, therefore, it is called direct tax loss. In inter syllabus, it is called income tax laws. Only one thing for you to leave in your subject. Yes. Now I am discussing with you income tax laws, not income tax act, which means income tax laws has five components in it: income tax act, income tax rules, circulars, notification. Very good. Yes. There is only one unfortunate issue, people. The one unfortunate issue is you and me are little special. Yes. We are not going to read. No, no, that is okay. You're not special to that extent. You're not going to read Income Tax Act alone. You're going to read Finance Act also. Yes, in our syllabus, we don't have one act, we have two acts. We have we have two acts. One is called Income Tax Act and one is called Finance Act. One is called Finance Act. What is the logic? Very simple. People, Income Tax Act was created in 1961. You need to make changes, especially when it's income tax, which we're trying to avoid every year. You need to make changes every year. Yes, Apo, it became a problem for India. The problem for India is every year we go and say we'll change income tax act, looks ugly, looks ugly, and therefore income tax said, you know what? Let's not change income tax 1961. Let it be as it is. Let it be as it is. All changes that we need to make in income tax, we will introduce by doing something called a budget. Called budget. Budget happens on Feb Feb 1st. On the 1st of the February, people, every year, Nirmala Sitharaman, after doing a halwa ceremony and all, will go and stand on the stage. Guys, know? Yes, we always on 1st February have something called as a budget session. On the budget session, what will happen is Nirmala ma'am will be given the stage and she will be informed on the announcements which she wants to make for the upcoming year. Which means that day she'll come and say what is she planning for India for the upcoming year, and on that date she will announce something called as a budget. Yes, during that budget exercise, also something will be announced called as finance bill. What do we call it? Finance bill is basically the bill which makes all the changes in taxes. And when I say taxes, I don't mean direct tax, I also mean indirect taxes. So all taxes related amendments come in finance bills. Yes. So every year there is a finance bill which gets passed and that gets approved by the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President Assent. Yes. That finance bill then becomes the Finance Act, and that Finance Act is what is read in Income Tax Act. Is read in Income Tax Act. So you and I are a little special people because we will not just be reading Income Tax Act 1961 because that's the old law. That's the old law. If you understand this carefully, after 61, we would have done Finance Act 62. That is also applicable to us. Finance Act 63. That is also applicable to us. Finance Act 64 is also applicable to us. And I can do this for the next 2.5 hours, but just to cut short, we are reading everything until Finance Act 2025, which means you are going to read with me not just one act, not just two acts. You're going to read about 78 acts with me. 78 acts with me, which is nothing but Income Tax Act 1961 plus Finance Act 1962 till Finance Act 2025. सब syllabus में है. Everything is part of your syllabus. अब राहुल इतना सब पढ़ने के लिए 200 पेज बहुत है क्या? बहुत है. Yes, the thing is very simple, people. What gets introduced in 62 may not be relevant in 63. Suppose something comes in 62, gets deleted in 63. Something comes in 63, becomes deleted in 65. It keeps on adding, deleting, and what you have in your hand is a cut short version of the whole applicable act. So, padna itna hi hai. What you read is for your syllabus, only this much. That is all you have to read for your exam purposes. Now, to make your life simpler, people, what we have done in our book is that all laws from 1961 till 2024 is in black and red. Is in black and red. Everything which is 2025 is in green, thereby clarifying to you that your predecessors, your seniors learnt everything till 2024. You people are special who are going to learn 2025, which means you have something extra to read. You have something extra to read. And why am I clarifying this to you people? For two reasons. Listen, I'm clarifying this to you for two reasons. Reason number one, because it is new for you, ICI gets extra excited because ICI is like, this has never been tested. Therefore, we will test for you people. We will test for you people, and therefore, for your exams, the green itself carries 40 percentage of the weightage. The green itself carries 40 percentage of the weightage. Out of a 100 mark syllabus paper of direct tax and indirect tax, 40 percentage weightage comes from green itself, which means these greens are what we are now going to be calling as amendments. We're going to be calling amendments. Amendments are basically those things which has not been learnt by your predecessors, are learnt by you new, and therefore becomes more relevant. Now it is more relevant only for you people, because next year there'll be other amendments. So next year ICI will like to test that amendments, will not like to test your amendments, which means your amendments are only applicable for your exams, are only applicable for your exams. Now just to clarify this to all of you, while I know everyone wants to clear in first attempt, just to clarify, everything given in green to you will apply for 3 attempts, will apply for, not 3 attempts from when you write, 3 attempts which ICI decides. Yes, so it is applicable for May 2026, it is applicable for September 2026, and it is applicable for Jan 2020. These are the 3 years where any amendments remain the same. The moment Jan 27 hits, the moment Jan 27 hits, a new Finance Act will come. The moment a new Finance Act comes, that becomes new amendments. That becomes new amendments, which means in my book, all greens become black, and we now have new greens. Will now have new greens, which basically means, my dear people, that you are writing May, good. If you do not get through September, Jan, safe. If you're writing September, good. If you do not get through Jan, safe. If you're writing Jan, did not get through, class वापस आना पड़ेगा. Everything will change, especially for you people, because you're extremely lucky. तुम्हारा तो act ही change हो रहा है. Yes, because everyone who does not clear Jan 27, I'm not telling you people, generally बता रहा हूँ. Everyone who does not clear Jan 27 will now be reading Income Tax Act 2025, which means new act itself, completely new act itself, upon new classes, new lectures, new books. मेरी सेल्स हो गई. Yes, be very careful, be very careful. This is a warning sign which I give on the first days itself, people, because I know as a CA student, no, sometimes after you clear foundation you start growing two horns. Yes, अब तुम्हें लगने लगता है मेरे पास है choice, because in foundation they give you 4 papers, you have to write all 4 papers. At inter you have a choice that you have 2 groups. Yes, I don't know why the stupidity is there. First of all, they give you a choice that you have 2 groups. People start thinking, हाँ ठीक है, एक काम करते हैं, let's write first group 1, फिर लिखेंगे group 2, एक एक करके करेंगे, 3 papers हो जाएगा. कुछ नहीं होगा. Yes, people, ICI is smarter than you people. ICI को भी पता है that if a person is appearing for group 1, it means the person is not prepared, which means लेके रखेगा फिर अच्छे से. Yes, then that is the place where you will not see a good mark, and then that's where they will screw your heart. They will screw you hard off, because that's where what will happen. He will come and say, बेटा अब तो तू फेल ही है, क्योंकि अगले attempt anyway you're preparing for group 2, दोनों साथ में लिखने आना. Yes, that is what happened in this attempt. For your convenience purposes, group 1 got 9% result, whereas the whole group got 20, something like that. The whole, both people who wrote both the groups got 26% result, but the person who wrote one group got 9% result, because he thought ठीक है एक group लिखेंगे पास हो जाएंगे. कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. Yes, and the problem why I'm telling you this is because people, you and I both know, we will always try to attempt group 1 first. क्यों? Because this is the only subject which is changing, which means you want to clear tax first, because tax change होगी तो problem हो जाएगी, बाकी कोई subject change नहीं होगा, other subjects will not change, you're still safer. What you learn with costing, what you learn in accounts, what you learn in FM, everything will remain the same except for direct tax and indirect tax, which means everyone thinks group 1 पहले लिख लेते हैं पास हो जाएंगे, फिर group 2 देखेंगे, टेंशन नहीं है. And that's where income, that's where I said है group 1 लिखोगे बेटा, पास करना है, कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. Yes, yes, warning sign for you people today, you should never see both as a group. You should see yourself writing 6 papers. That's the idea. That's the idea. If you ask yourself, Rahul, how many papers do I have? Answer is six. I don't have two groups. I have only six papers. That is the answer. Which means in today's mind, fix it to yourself कि राहुल मेरे पास सिर्फ 6 पेपर है और 6 ही लिखने हैं. Yes. If you start asking for choices, and you people, trust me, are the worst person to make a choice. You people are not matured enough to make that decision for yourself, right? So don't have that mentality to yourself कि राहुल I am 18 plus, I am an adult, I can make my life choices. कुछ नहीं होगा. Yes. तुम्हारे ब्रेकअप से तुम्हें पता चल गया होगा. अगर नहीं मिल रहा तो और भी गंदा है. Right? So you know where you're standing right now. Yes. At that position, don't think that you have the ability to make choices for yourself. Your choice is only one. You're writing. कौन बोला ग्रुप्स मेरे को अभी? You're writing. Full stop. Yes, you're writing 6 papers, one CA intermediate. That is your answer. You don't have two choices. You don't have two groups. If anyone comes and tells you you have two groups, you come and say, okay, then you write, because I'm writing. Any doubts on this part? Yes, I'm making it extremely clear, people, because you are writing May and September, so you're still at the safe position. Yes, but I don't want you to come to that point. Yes, because trust me, not clearing is painful. It's very painful. People sitting outside can tell you better, right? It's not an easy thing. It takes a lot of toll on you. It takes a lot of stress on you. Yes, right now everything is going smooth because of ho raha ek bar mein, and therefore you feel happy in life, right? At a certain stage, when you push back to yourself, no, that day you'll realize क्या गलती हुई थी जिंदगी में, right? That day self doubt will start coming in. मैं क्यों हूँ जिंदगी में, क्या कर रहा हूँ जिंदगी में. Yes, वो सारा क्वेश्चन आएगा. उसके बाद then you'll start asking, राहुल बीकॉम कर लेता तो मजे ही मजे थे. Yes, वहां पे 4-5 गर्लफ्रेंड होती मेरी, सब होती, right? Never happens, people. Never happens. Be very careful on day one itself कि you are preparing for. Full stop. That is what the answer should be. Are we clear? Yes. अगर तुम plan करते हो, if you plan कि नहीं राहुल, I'm writing two groups, always priority to group one. Always priority to group one, not because it's my subject, but because my subject is changing. और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. Yes, because you play a game with my subject will play back a game with you. Right? तो वो रिस्की नहीं चाहिए. Always group one is on top priority, but yes, always prefer both the groups. It helps immensely, people. You don't know about it, but it helps immensely because you need to clear 40 marks in each paper plus 50 percentage in aggregate, and that's the mistake which you end up making. You think 15 aggregate is the answer. It's not. It's 50 percentage in aggregate, which means if you think about it, when you're writing 6 papers, you need to clear with 300. Full stop. It doesn't matter whether you get 150 in group 1 or 150 in group 2. It is okay. It is okay. And I can tell you my best example, people. CA intermediate 2016. If I have my paper, I'll show it to you. My mark sheet was as follows. I had that time 8 papers. So we were writing 8 papers back in those days, and that time it was 400 marks, right? I got, how much you need? 200, 200. Yes, I got 180 in group 1. Any? Huh? You need 400 in total. I got 180 in group 1, which means technically group 1 I'm fail, because in group 1 I need 200. I got 180 in group 1. Guess my group 2 mark. I got 225. I got 225 in group 2. Overall set of 405. Pass हो गया. It helps, and I'm not even kidding. People standing before you, the ones who came in yesterday, pass like that only. Pass like that only because group 1 में नहीं हुआ, group 2 में हुआ, offset में pass हुए. Lot of people I've seen. Lot of people I've seen, and I'm not even kidding. 405 is my mark. I had my best friend who's also teaching accounts here, not in your batch, but in the next batches. She got 400. She got 400. 400 भी कैसे पता है? 199 there, 201 here. 1 मार्क ऊपर नीचे दोनों ग्रुप जाते हैं. Yes, 1 mark up and down, both the groups would have gone. सोच के देखो. Yes, not even one, both the groups would have gone. 199 into 1 is basically coming and saying ICA favored you and passed you, nothing else. She also knows. उसको भी पता है. I got a favor mark only, no doubts about it. हम लोग को क्या करना है? My record says I clear in first attempt. Who cares about my marks, right? So she now goes to the world and comes and says मेरा हो गया first attempt, तुम देख लो. Right? So the difference is that, people, that's the huge difference between groups. Now I'm not telling you everyone will be lucky like that, but it does help. It does help. I've seen so many days where group 1 becomes pass. You pass in group 1, कोई problem नहीं होता. लेकिन group 2 में you have some amazing papers. You have papers like audit and SM. जिंदगी में क्या चल रहा है नहीं पता, right? And those papers में क्या हो रहा है, no one knows. With those kind of papers, passing group 2 is next to difficult. I'm not saying impossible, next to difficult. Standalone basis में, because standalone basis में audit में 40 के ऊपर is a magic. Is magic. FM SM में SM is a magic. मतलब dependent papers are only costing and FM. Yes, इसमें costing for the last 3 attempts I have been seeing beautiful marks are coming. When I say beautiful, not joking, literally beautiful marks are coming, meaning papers where मतलब अब लगेगी. Yes, now ICI will come and say हो गया 3 attempts हो गया, everyone has been getting amazing marks in costing, मतलब अगले attempts में तो yes, which means group 2 is already on the verge of extension. Yes, because group 2 में costing गया, audit आता ही नहीं है, SM में क्या हो रहा है बचा, which is about 50 marks. कितना निकाल लोगे तुम लोग? Yes or no? Which means at this stage group 1 will be the only savior for you in group 2 and you will only be able to survive with that, और कोई option नहीं है. Yes, which means group 1 में you now have a beautiful paper called as law, जो तुम्हारा फाउंडेशन में घटिया गया. इंटर में दिस पेपर विल सेव यू, इंटर में दिस पेपर विल सेव यू, इट हैज टू सेव यू, कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है, राइट? फॉर दोज हु थिंक राहुल लॉ तो कितना घटिया पेपर था, इंटर इज आई वोंट से इजी बट ओके मैनेजेबल. यस, लॉ का पेपर इज समथिंग वेयर, इस अटेम्प्ट को छोड़ दो प्लीज. September 25 CA Inter was the worst paper ever. Worst paper ever. In the last 10 years of history, never had that paper come. Right? They literally ask you questions where you don't even know where it is coming from. People, even faculties were thinking, कौन सा question paper आ गया? Right? So this was the worst attempt, but which also means a good news. Next attempts will be manageable. People, it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing where ICA will come and say, if this time the paper was extremely difficult, next time तो मतलब pass ही है. Where next time the paper is extremely easy, right? My point is very simple, people. You need to understand that ICA always has one paper as a checkpoint. Now you don't know which paper it is. It may be group 1, it may be group 2, but nevertheless always another paper will help you for that, and that can only happen if you are prepared for all the 6. Yes, because you never know, you're planning for Rahul. That's what happened this time. Group 1 people told we'll write group 1 and we'll clear, and law paper ne le li achhi si. Yes, the moment law paper took it off, and funny thing is, people, when the papers are tough, you'll never fail. You'll never, because they'll always have grace marks for you. Yes, and that's where ICA plays very sadist with you. He's more sadist than I am. Yes, ICA, every single person who wrote group 1 law में 40, कोई फेल नहीं हुआ, लेकिन अग्रीगेट नहीं आया, किसी का अग्रीगेट नहीं आया. Everyone got 141, 142, 143, 150 नहीं आ रहा. Right? Everyone failed because of the fact that your 150 did not touch. The same set of people who wrote group 2 together, they got all the set off from group 2 because this time's costing paper was amazing. Jitu Bhaiya was very happy, 70 plus आया सबको. So automatically 70 plus from there, 30 marks offset in here. You're already, see the difference what is happening? Yes, I'm giving this as a choice, people. Now I tell this every time when I start my batch. By the time the batch gets over, already people have decided एक ही group लिखना. Yes, मैं अभी बता देता हूँ. I know because it happens. You people have this mindset to yourself. मैं मेरी तरफ से करूँगा, which I don't care. My job is to come and let you know what is the reality of life. If it happens, amazing. And I'm not telling you won't clear. I have students like that also. There was one person who was sitting with me in the previous batch. महक करके लड़की थी. She told नहीं भैया मैं group 1 ही लिखूंगी. We convinced her too much. She was like नहीं भैया I'll write group 1 only. She cleared. Definitely she cleared. She got amazing marks also. Not even clear, amazing marks she got because she put that efforts. She knew that she's carrying a risk with herself, which means she put that equal amount of efforts also. That's because from day one she knew she's writing only group 1. And that was a college commitment. Problem with you people is you are going through a 5 months ka journey. At that stage you're thinking Rahul dono group. 6th month you're like I'm not prepared, let's write group 1. Problem with you is your time preparation is less. When you have lesser time to prepare, one group also will not get through, right? So if you're making up a choice, you bloody make it right now. Otherwise stick to both. Stick to both is a thought I will give to you. ये मैं बता रहा हूँ, 3 महीने बाद आके वापस यही पूछूंगा मैं. Yes, उस दिन देखेंगे कितने जने लिख रहे हैं. Right? But nevertheless, that is what the thought process is. Any doubts on the thought process? No? Very good. Which means for our syllabus people, what are we going to read? We're going to read Income Tax Act 1961 along with Finance Act 2020. Very good. That is what you're going to learn from me. Now we have already learned everything in this. Nothing great about to learn because we have already learned how to make a law. Yes. So whether you read 1961 or you read Finance Act 2025, the answer remains the nothing is going to change. Clear? Yes. I'm going to drop you for a break, people, with one small question for you. with one small question for you. Can you read Income Tax Act 1961 for me? If you once listen, 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 listen. Okay, let me tell you the pattern of reading things. When you read a thing, you will read one line and stop. Let me explain the line. You're not mugging up things, right? You read a line and you stop. Now, one thing, let me clarify. We're reading Income Tax Act 1961, and I told you when you create an act, there are certain rules to follow. You always start with section. Income Tax Act 1961 starts with short title, extent, commencement. Section heading is Income Tax Act 1961. Very good. It extends to the whole of. Very good. It extends to the whole of India and will be applicable from. तुम बताओ 1960. Very good. It applies from 1962. It applies from 1962. Now there is some issue here. There is some issue here because people, when you read Companies Act 2013, you would have read it as it applies from 1st April 2013. It applies from 1st April. When you read Contract Act also, it would say it applies from 1st April 1872. Income tax is very special. Income tax says it applies from 1960. Now you're going to hold this question for me. We'll discuss it in the next class. We'll discuss it in the next class as to why is it 1962. But this is a valid question to ask. A valid question to ask. Any doubts? No? People, any doubts in this section? Sub clear? Hai? Very good. What is including Jammu and Kashmir? What is India? Hey, forget Jammu and Kashmir and all. My question is, what is India? What is India? Domestic territory of. What is India? What is a company? Company is a company. किसकी जमीन? All these states. Ukraine. Eight states, islands, surrounding sea. Ah, people surrounding water bodies till 12 nautical miles. अच्छा, embassies outside India. हाँ हाँ, मेरे को पता है. हाँ, इतना. What kind of stupid question is this? Logic. Yes, Rahul. India to India. Yeah. What is correct? No. Yes. People, imagine the scenario. Imagine the scenario where what is happening is. Imagine the scenario where what is happening is Rahul has planned to come with a trip for you people. Yes. So I'm planning to join you for the trip. Plan nahi hai, but bol raha hu. Yes. Imagine I'm planning to join the trip for you, the cruise ship. Yes. The issue what has happened is we were all traveling in the cruise. We were all traveling in the cruise. We have just left the Chennai port. Yes. Now when we were leaving the Chennai port and we were taking the ship, I went and I gave my money to Jitubia, saying, Jitubia, this is my fees for joining the trip. The moment I was giving my fees to him, someone immediately caught the money. And I'm like, Kaun hai haath mara? Yes. Guy comes and says, this is income tax department. This is income tax department. This money which you gave to Jitubia is Jitubia's income on which you have to pay tax. On which you have to pay tax. And I said, sir, you can only collect tax from me when I am in India. I am not standing on the land. I am not standing on the ship. I am in that bridge. मैं से bridge में खड़ा हूँ. I'm standing on the bridge and I'm giving Jitubia money. Tell me, India, not India? India. 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 बहुत ही बढ़िया. People, imagine we have now boarded the ship. We have now boarded the ship. We are on the ship. Yes. A little bit of a distance we travel. A little bit of distance we travel. And what happens is the मेरा flow मत खराब करो. We were traveling on the ship, people, and suddenly what happened is there is a the waitress. The waitress comes and tells, dear sir, how are you? I'm like, आपको देख लिया बस. बस this is what I was waiting for. No? I mean drink की बात कर रहा हूँ. People, cheap people. Yes. So I went to the person and I was like, "Oh, you brought drinks for me. Thank you." Yes. So she says, "But sir, this is paid. This is." I'm like, "वो तो obvious है, no problem." I take out a 500 rupees note and I put it in her hand. I put it in her hand. The moment I'm sending the note, one person comes and snatches it. The department has joined me today. Yes, the department is coming and saying, "Sir, you're paying 500 rupees note to her. This is for the shipper income, and therefore you have to pay tax." I'm like, "Day, I'm in the middle of water. कौन सा इंडिया ये? This is not India, therefore not taxable. Tell me, India, not India? India? Chalo, take it. People, imagine a case where what is happening is I'm traveling on the ship. Yes, suddenly Titanic scene, full washout. मैं travel कर रहा हूँ, तुम लोग सीधा हो. Yes, Titanic scene, full washout, full washout. I am right now in the middle of waters trying to swim around somewhere. Yes, suddenly my eyes close and I wake up. When I wake up, I'm seeing myself in the middle of an island. In the middle of an island. I go, I sit on the island. Yes, trying to find some food and stuff. I could not find anything. After days of traveling, all those, the movie scenes and everything. Suddenly, below a tree, I see a big treasure chest. I go, I open the treasure chest, and Sona is Sona. Yes, gold, jewelry, diamonds, every single thing is there. Every single thing is there. Rahul takes everything, he starts throwing it away, and I'm like, rich! Right? At this stage, the moment I'm starting to throw away, someone is having a net and he's catching like this. I'm like, ये कौन है? देखा तो इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट कम्स एंड सेज, सर डोंट थ्रो, दिस इज माय शेयर आल्सो. मेरा भी इनकम है, मेरा भी इनकम है, मेरा भी इनकम है. Yes, at this stage I'm like, day, I'm not in India, I'm not on waters also, I'm in an island, some far away, some far away. This is not India, this is not your tax, this is not your tax. India, not India. बॉर्डर्स में कैसे है? आइलैंड तो है. India, not India, not India. That is a different conversation. What is the borders? What is the borders? Do you have a limit for the borders, or you just look at something in India? 12 nautical miles. Okay, so if the island is within 12 nautical miles, it is. Chalo, take it. Now, people, at this stage, I'm super pissed off with this guy. This is like the Bugs Bunny show going on. Yes, everywhere I go, this idiot comes and stands. And therefore, I decided, you know what, I have enough money in my hand. I will now create for myself an Atlantis. Yeah. What is Atlantis? Lost city. The lost city. So what I did is, in that island itself, I go deep underground. I go deep underground. I call some builders and all. The builders have now made a city inside the waters underground. Yes, underground water supply and all is start. Underground city supply and all started. So I've made a city for myself. Atlantis, I'm calling it, and I'm living there right now. I'm living there right now. Every single day, I have to need food. So every single day, I make an order from India, saying that I want food supplies. I want food supplies. But every time I buy a sandwich only comes 70 percentage. Swiggy order is going on here. Some delivery guy comes and eats 30 percentage and brings it. Yes. So I go to that guy and I'm like, why are you eating my 30 percentage sandwich? He's like, nee, sir, when it came to me itself, it came after TDS. Like, TDS कहाँ से आ गया? He's like, no, sir, you have earned income, therefore it is taxable. I go and call this guy and I'm like, क्या चल रहा है? He's like, sir, you have earned income, you have to pay tax. I'm like, day, I am not on the land. I am not on waters. I am not on an island. I am underwater. How the hell is underwater India? 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 Sure. No. Yes. Yes or no? चलो नहीं पता. People, at this stage, what happens is after all this news is going on, someone gets to know. Someone gets to know that Rahul has made a city for his own, and Rahul has so much of jewels with him, so much of jewels with him, and therefore, what happens? People, the Iron Man scene happens. Yes, terrorists get the wind of it. Yes. So terrorists have got the wind of it, and terrorists have decided, you know what? Let's abduct Rahul, kidnap Rahul. Yes. So some terrorists come and pick me up, kidnap me off from my Atlantis city and take me back to Vishakhapatnam. Now in this Vishakhapatnam, people, obviously terrorists cannot live on the lands. So what terrorists did? They made a underground cave. They made an underground cave, and therefore they are living there. Yes. Along with them is me. I've been caught. I've been living along with them in an underground cave for the last 3 years. For the last 3 years. In this 3 years, people, they asked me to make some suit and all, Iron Man suit types. Yes. मेरे को नहीं आता, but ठीक है. Yes. So imagine I made some underground Iron Man suit and all for them, and I gave it to them. The moment I gave them, pakka Marwadi business. I said, paisa to obvious. Yes. You have taken my jewels and everything. At least some part of jewels, give it to me back. Give it to me back. Now the moment I was taking the jewels, I saw some guy rushing around, yes, John Abraham style, rushing around, making some fire bullets and all. And he comes and says, Rahul, I'm saving you. Pata, income tax department. Now, why is he saving me? Because he wants, at this stage, I'm like, see, saving and all is okay. I'm happy about that. But why are you collecting tax? I am not on land. I am not in waters. I am not on island. I am not underground. I'm sorry, I'm not underwater. I am underground. Underground कैसे इंडिया हो गया? इंडिया नॉट इंडिया. ये भी इंडिया है. ये भी इंडिया है. Okay. Now, people, this at this stage, the guy saved me. The guy saved me. So I am telling boss, I don't like India itself. I want to leave. I want to leave. I want to go back to my Atlantis. Yes. And therefore, I said, immediately book me a private jet. Book me a. I am very scared of ships and all right now, people. Obviously, I want a private jet for myself. Yes. So I booked a private jet, and this private jet is taking off from Visakhapatnam, reaching my island. In the air, I went and I asked for a drink. The air hostess comes and hands me over a drink. I'm like, good, here is 500 rupees ka note. The moment I give the 500 rupees ka note, someone outside is traveling with a parachute. That guy comes and says, open the door. Nahi de raha main tere ko. Yes. And I'm like, boss, see, this is very ugly. You can't come and ask me tax in the middle of an air. In the middle of air. Air is not India. Air is not India. Tell me, people, India, not India. People, six scenarios. Six scenarios. I have received money on the land of India. I have received money on the waters of some place. I have received money on the island of some place. I have received money underwater in some place. I have received money underground in some place. I have received money above land space in some place in the air. Which part of it is not India? कैसे पता? Where is it given? Where is it given? People, 18 years of life. India ही नहीं पता. What is India? What is India? What is India? What is India? नहीं पता. नहीं पता. Hello. नहीं पता. People, when you don't know the definition, there needs to be a definition. When you don't know a definition, there needs to be a. Therefore, income tax introduced a definition for India. Income tax introduced a definition of India. What is the definition? We will discuss. We will discuss. Take a break. We'll be back by 12:30. Yes. Yes. People. So yeah, like we completed this discussion of India basically needs to be defined. Yes, and therefore every income tax definition has brought in a definition for India. The definition of India is fairly simple, people. If you notice the definition, you get the right answer right now. Yes, India has been defined under section 2, clause 25, capital A. Yes, which means if you notice itself, people, the definition was never there. If you notice, the definition was never as 225, it was 225A, which means when income tax was being created, they forgot to introduce India. And the question which I asked were actually genuine questions. People were asking these kind of weird questions in the market and were saying we will not pay taxes, which is where India had to release a definition for India itself. Had to release a definition for India itself. And if you notice the definition, people, it says India means India, which means India is a. People now think and tell me, why would you need an exhaustive definition? Better to have an inclusive, right? What is sab kuch? Exactly. People, the problem is here is where you have to be very careful because it's a sensitive matter. You start using the word includes, it means I can start coming and saying Sri Lankan is my borders. You can't do that. You can't do that. And therefore, income tax had to be very careful to use the word means to clarify that only within this jurisdiction is what I can collect taxes. Anything outside this should not be part of my scope. Yes, yes. And therefore, the definition came in as follows. The definition for me reads any read territory of India, which basically means states, and you and I both know this. You and I both know this. Next, territorial waters of India, which is basically seabed and subsoil. With this understanding, one thing is clear. Territorial waters of India is considered also considering seabed. Seabed basically means underwater. So which means creating an Atlantis is also India. But when they say that, they said up to 12 nautical miles. 12 nautical miles is nothing but a measure distance which you use for water areas. For water areas, it's called nautical miles. Yes, yes. But here is where the challenge starts. Point number three says continental shelf and exclusive economic zones, which means period till 13 to 200 nautical miles. Income tax also clarifies that up to 200 nautical miles also it is India. It is India. Apo, think about this carefully and tell me. I could have rather said 0 to 200. No. Why did I have to go 0 to 12 and 13 to 200? Sorry. So, but you said means, right? This means it is India. Where is also? Okay. Abdi. People read the lines very carefully. The word says exclusive economic zone. Break the English. Tell me what do you understand? Means this is a place which is exclusively used for economic purposes. Economic purposes. Now you and I both know economic purposes means trading. Means trading, which means this is the area where you can only trade. Which means this is the area where you can only earn profits, where you can earn profits. This is not the area where you can live. Yes, up to territorial waters of India you have the permission to live, which means you can live in an island there. But if I'm going anywhere beyond 12 nautical miles, I don't even have the authority to live there. I'm technically already outside waters. The only thing is that I can do trading here. I can do trading here. Up a very simple, people, imagine if I have to sell oil from Chennai to some other country, what will happen? I will be allowed to travel my ship up to 200 nautical miles, which means the other ship will have to come till 200 nautical miles border. I will travel to 200 nautical miles and I will sell it off. And I will sell it off. But tomorrow, if Ambani comes and says, I want to buy some land, he cannot buy a land beyond 13 nautical miles, beyond 12 nautical miles, because after 12 nautical miles, if he buys a land, it becomes outside waters. It becomes outside waters, which means between 13 to 200, I can only trade. I can't live. I can't live. Are we making sense? Be very careful on this, people, which means after 12 nautical miles, you need a visa. Mandatory, you'll need a visa. Other than that, you are technically trespassing. I will treat you as a terrorist only. Yes, you're outside India borders, you'll automatically become a terrorist for the purpose of any other country laws. Yes, so be very careful on that. Next, any other specified maritime zones, and which basically clarifies that air is also covered. Air is also covered. So any kind of areas, people, which we discussed right now. When I discussed the land, it is India. When I went to waters, it was India. When I went to the island, if it is within 12 nautical miles, it is India. If I'm going underwater, it is India. If I'm going underground, it is India. If I'm going above Here it is India. All are India part of the definitions for income tax purposes. Now let me clarify. This is a definition given in Income Tax Act, which means it will not apply to other acts. When you read Indian Contract Act, you will not see the third point. The third point will not be there. The continental shelf and exclusive economic zone will not be there because I don't have to worry about Contract Act. Contract Act only says do activities in India, which means there they don't care about what kind of profit elements you're having. I don't mind that. And therefore, every single act will have its own definition of India. Be very careful on this because when you start reading a law in your practical world, people, you should never refer a same India definition from other chapters. Yes, which means every act you will have to go and check what is the definition given in their act, if it matches or it doesn't matches. If it doesn't matches, be very cautious on those as an understanding. Clear? As long as you can go down. Yes, after I think 200 meters, you can't really breathe because the water current is too high, so you won't be able to survive there. So whatever you can go down is completely fine. That's all right. Yes, yes, very good. With that, people, we have done with section number one, which talks about title, extent, and commencement. Very good. With section one getting out of the way, we move to section number two, which is about definitions. Now, if I have to give you the definitions, we saw it that day. There are about 20 pages worth of definitions, which you and I don't want to read. Yes. So what we'll do is we'll let go of the definitions. We will read all those definitions which are relevant to us as we keep proceeding to the chapters. So as I keep moving to every chapter, I'll tell you this is the definition to be kept in mind. Basically meaning every time you read a line, you have to ask me, Rahul, iska. You don't ask, I will not give it to you. Yes. If you ask me, I'll give you the definition. Otherwise, I'll keep asking questions like this. Okay. Yes. So section number two, we're not discussing about it. That moves me to section 3. That moves me to section 3. Now, normally, section 3 is your charging section. However, in income tax, it is not the case. It is not the case. Section 4 is your charging section. Section 4 talks about what is to charge in income tax. Yes. Now, that discussion of section 4 we'll do in the next class. Don't worry about it. We're not doing it today. Yes. Let me cover the other parts of Income Tax Act. Khatam hua to. We move to income tax rules. We move to income tax rules. People, Companies Act is 2013. Companies rules is 2013. If Companies Act is 2013, Companies rules are also 2013. Yes, Income Tax Act is 1961. Apo income tax rules is 1962. Income tax rules is 1962, which means I'm again putting up another question before you for tomorrow's class, for my Wednesday's class. For Wednesday's class, why do you have Act in 61 and why do you have rules in 62? Apo, does that mean that for one full year there was no rules itself? First April. First April. So why? Income tax. Okay, Income Tax Act 2025 was brought in the middle of the year. Therefore, I agree. My question is very simple. You're reading Finance Act 25 with me. Finance Act 25 with me was passed on 1st February 2025. Should be applicable from 2020. Obviously, Finance Act 2025 should be applicable from 1st April 2020. 2025 should be applicable from 1st April 2025. 1st February 25 becomes applicable from 1st April 2025. However, the funny thing is when you open Finance Act 25, it will say all indirect tax related provisions will apply from 1st April 25. All indirect tax provisions will apply from 1st April 26. Will apply from 1st April 26, which means in income tax, every single time you create a law, you're always 1 year late. You're always 1 year late. Now, what does it mean 1 year late, people? Apu, does it mean that it does not apply to this financial year? Does it mean that it does not apply to this financial year? It does apply for this year also. It does apply for this year also, which is where the whole problem is, people. Which is where the whole problem is. The problem is very simple. When Income Tax Act was 1961, and you're telling it is applicable from 1st April 1962, Apo, can I come and say in 61 I will not pay tax itself? You still pay tax in 61 only. Using what? Same income tax 61 only. You paid a tax in 61 using income tax 61 only. The only problem is it says it is applicable from 60 to. What is the issue here? Big issue. Big issue we will discuss next class. Yes, this is one of the major reasons why Income Tax Act 2025 was brought in. Yes, as an CA inter person, you will realize there is a big interpretation issue in income tax. Because of that interpretation issue, everyone was hell lot confused in India. Yes, because every time 2025 Finance Act came, they said it is applicable from 26. When 26 comes, they'll say 27. When 27 comes, they'll say 28. What the hell is going on? Right? With that confusion coming in people, Income Tax Act 25 comes and says, okay, let me make it simpler for you. Yes. Now, what is the simpler? We'll discuss in the next class. But right now, I'm just giving this thought to you. The thought is 1961 Act is applicable from 62, is applicable from 62, but was used in 60. Why is the question? Why is the question? We'll discuss in the next class. Clear enough? Yes. Now, we already discussed this, people. When you have Act and rules, which one overrides? Act overrides. In income tax, rules are made by Central Board of Direct Taxes. Very good. After that, people will discuss that every year you'll have Finance Act. For your exam, it is Finance Act 2020. Very good. It's Finance Act 2025. Clear? Yes. Good. With that, we understood what is called as circulars and notifications. Circulars are binding on department officers. Notifications are binding on both department and individuals, both department and individuals. Yes or no? Yes, that is the only thing you're going to mark for your exam purposes, people. Your theory question for your exam. Your theory question for your exam. When you go to circulars and notifications, if you notice, it says circulars are issued by CBDT. People don't mark. I'll tell you what to mark. Wait for it. Yes, circulars are issued by CBDT. Notifications are issued by CBDT or central government, depending on who wants to do it. Yes, sometimes Ministry of Finance itself will get down and do it. Sometimes CBDT will take the charge on it. Whoever is fine. Yes. Second, deals with specific problems or clarifying doubts regarding scope and meaning of the any provisions of the act. Like I told you, people, I will go to the boss of the CBDT and come and say, sir, something is not clear. You give me an answer. Yes. So they're helping you with clarifying doubts or defining any problem statements. However, when they do it, it only applies to department, does not apply to individuals, which means binding only on department. Assessees can take the benefit of the beneficial circulars. Clear? Yes. Last point is what you're going to mark as important. Agreed? 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 On the right side, people, we are moving to notifications. Notifications are issued by CBDT and central government. It gives specific effects to provisions of the act. Let's say, for example, I want to notify a person, I want to extend due dates. All that happens by notification. Notifications are also used for you to make a make a rules, to make rules. We discussed notifications are also used to make rules for yourself. Yes, this one is binding on both assessee and department. It's binding on both assessee and department. This is your MCQ question. This is your MCQ question. Be mindful of the MCQ questions, people, because here is where the challenge starts. Clear? Yes, very good. With this, people, you're done with what is called as circulars and notifications also, leaving you with the last thing called as case laws. Like we discussed, people, in India, case laws are of two. One is coming from Supreme Court, one is coming from High Court. Final level will teach you there is something called ITAT and there is something called Commissioner of Income Tax. Yes, none of this is relevant for your exam because you are not going to be dealing with case laws at inter level. We will be discussing a few case laws. Once in a while, I'll discuss with a few case laws just to give you the interest of the topic. But it is not relevant for your exam. You don't need to worry about it. Clear? So this is what the case laws look like. Any doubts on the case law? Are we clear enough to go? Yes, good. This is what is going to happen. Now, one thing which you need to keep in mind when you go for a practical orientation. Don't do that. Do that. Yes, when you're going for a practical orientation, be very careful on one thing, people, is that when you clear your exams, when you September, September 26 and May 26. Yes or no? When you're clearing your exams, people, you'll realize that by the time you clear your exams, Income Tax Act 2025 would have been launched. Agreed? Yes. The Income Tax Act 2025 being launched to you, obviously, when you enter your articleship and they ask you an interview question, mostly generally they'll ask you questions relating to the provisions. One of the whiles, the saddest guy will come and tell you, tell me what are the tax rates? Tell me what are the At this stage, people, if you are too hurried and you come and say, "हाँ sir, मेरे को तो पता है tax rate. Let's tell old regime में ये rate है, new regime में ये rate है," you will immediately be thrown out because there is one mistake you made. You went and gave answer with a half-baked information. You know tax rates of 2025 Finance Act. You know tax rates of Finance Act 2025. You have no idea on the tax rates of Income Tax Act 2025. Yes. Now let me clarify to you right now. The rates are the same. No doubts about it. The rates are the same unless next February Nirmala Tai decides something else. Yes. Until she decides something else, the rates are going to remain the same. But the mistake which you're going to make is to be hurried on it. To come and say, yes, Rahul, I know the rates. Let's give the answer. Because understand what you learn is not the same as what happens next year. Next year may have a different rate altogether. Yes, in that case, people, you have to be very careful on how you answer the question. If you immediately jump on telling the rates, you are giving the rates which you know. He is not looking forward to that. He has already forgotten those. He's already forgotten those. He is more interested on the new rates. But the thing is, you don't know the rates. How do you tackle this question in exam? In an interview, you say you don't know. He'll send you out. Let's see how much matured you are. People stress question, by the way, this is called. When you go for an interview, sometimes they'll be giving you out of box questions. We call it stress interviews. Yes, I'm very famous for that. Make the person cry and leave. Yes, I've had so many people who will cry on the interview and leave on the day because they'll be like, "मैं select ही नहीं हो रहा." Right? So yeah, how do you answer a stress interview question? Now you need to also understand this fact, people, that the person who's doing your interview is not going to be some youngster. He's going to be some big old partner, 40 years, 50 years. That guy does not even know what is your relevant CA inter syllabus. It may so happen that he may end up asking you an out of box final level question, which you know you have not studied for the exam. But can you go and tell him, sir, I don't know, I'm sorry, इंटर में नहीं पढ़ा है, skip कर दिया मैं टॉपिक ही. नहीं? How will you answer the question? Convince me in such a way that I'll select you for the interview. पढ़ के आया था तू? पढ़ के गया था? तो फिर रिसर्च करना है मुझे, मतलब people give me a statement, don't give me words. Give me a statement that you'll convince me as an interviewer I should select you for the articleship. No one? You're not sure about the rates, but you want to? You want me to tell you or what? You, I should tell you the rates. Good try. Anyone else? People, imagine you're sitting in an interview. This is going to be a difficult question. And I'm telling you very honestly, it happens in every interviews. I have gone through this interview myself. During my times in articleship at Deloitte, that idiot came to me and he started asking some final level topics. If I sit in front of you and I tell I don't know, I'm already gone. You can't go to a big four and say you don't know the answer. Good, you're out. Why are you not updated before the interview? Are you not prepared enough to join me? Anyone else? So you're not interested to be updated. Is that the statement? Are you telling me that you're not interested to be updated and I have to train you for that? मैं बोल रहा हूँ तुम बैठोगे 2 मिनट और तो रो दोगे. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? People, I told you the answer of this on the first day of the class. Understand this carefully that I don't expect you to be an expert. All I want from you is to show that you know things. Yes or no? Yes. In the same example of Jitubia's case, I knew the answer, but I would not tell it right away because I know it loses my worth. You can use the same tactics here. If you think about this carefully, as an articleship guy, do I expect you to be an expert there? You are here to. All I'm looking forward is to see whether you are ready to. Agreed, not agreed. Yes. So he made a very valid statement. The only difference is he asked me to give the answer. That's showing dependency. Yes. A straightforward answer, very simple, would be to come and tell, I'm thankful for this question. There is only one issue. I unfortunately could not update myself on the answer yet. I realize this as my shortcoming, but I'm ready to. If you give me an additional opportunity, probably another hearing date, hearing as an interview date, I'm happy to go through it myself and come back to you with a proper answer. Shows shows excitement, shows interest, shows learning capabilities. Yes, dependency is not what any person is looking for you. Imagine this very simply. When you go for an articleship interview, you know that you're not going to be the only article there. There are going to be 50 other people. You think your partner has time to sit with 50 people there? He knows that you are here to learn for yourself, which means he is ready to give you the avenue, but you have to make your own decisions. If you can't show that on the interview date, what is the point of he selecting you itself? If on every hand holding day he has to come sit with you and come and tell you, beta, aise karte hain. He has better things to do in life. Agreed, not agreed? Yes. So your independence shows the trick on the answer. Now, why am I telling you this? It happens very commonly. A lot of times when students go for interviews, they make this mistake that they start jumping on rates. And you need to understand that the rates change every year, which means you will never find the rate in Income Tax Act. Yes. If you go to your principal and come and say, sir, I don't know the answer, but I'm happy to learn. Some interviews like me, crazy guy, will give you the income tax book. He'll be like, okay, this is the new book, go search the rate and tell me where the answer is. Yes, at this stage, you are stuck because you don't have a second hearing date. You have to prove yourself today. Yes or no? At this stage, you have to be careful enough to come and realize the fact rates are not given in Income Tax Act. Rates are given in Finance Act, which means you will first come and tell, sir, can you first of all tell me which Finance Act do you want? Based on that, I'll have to decide an answer. If he comes and tells I want Finance Act 25, then you know the answer. You should know the answer. Hello. Yes. But if he tells, no, no, I want Income Tax Act 25, then in that case, you'll come and say, sir, Income Tax Act 25 may have had changes based on Finance Act 26. Can you let me know if you have a copy of the Finance Act? Can you let me know if you have a copy of the Finance Act? With that Finance Act copy is where you'll go and search for the rates and you'll find the rates there. You'll find the rates there. Are we making sense? Yes. So be very careful to not come and jump to gun people to come and say, give me the book, I'll find it. Nahi milega. The Income Tax Act book will not even have the rates for you. It will be in the be very careful. That's what these 4 points are. The 4 points basically come and clarify that whatever rates are applicable to you are given in part 3 of the Finance Act. Part 3 of the Finance Act will come and confirm to you what rates apply to you for your relevant assessment year or previous year or your previous year. Any doubts on this part? Yes. So you are writing exam for September 26. Your applicable financial year is 25 26. Your applicable financial year is 25 26 because you are learning Finance Act 2025, which is applicable from 1st April 26, but is used for financial year 25 26. समझे? Sure. Oh, okay. तुम समझ गए तो अच्छी बात है, मेरा काम हो गया. Yes, understand this carefully, people, that you only know financial year 25 26 rates. When you go for your articleship interview, the year already going on is 26 27. So you need to be aware about 26 27 rates. If you are, then great. If you are not, it's okay. It's okay as long as you can tell him that you are ready to. That's the answer. Yes, at any point of time, if you come to a point where they somehow ask you a question which is there in your syllabus, but you don't remember it, don't come and tell, sir, मैंने ये topic skip किया था syllabus के लिए. Yes, because one of the most commonly tested questions in your articleship interview is a chapter called TDS, tax deduction and source. By the time I reach that chapter, people, you would itself come and tell, Rahul, skip kar leta. Yes, because it's a 4-mark chapter with the weightage of about 45 pages in my book, which means in an ICA study method, that's about 500 pages. Right? वो chapter का worth ही नहीं है. 99% in my class itself, I will tell you to skip that chapter off. There is only one problem. It's the most commonly tested question in interviews. क्या करें? क्या basic knowledge? सीए छोड़ दें. सीए छोड़ दें. नहीं पढ़ पाओगे people. कितना ही पढ़ लो नहीं पढ़ पाओगे. Same trick applies. The same trick applies. You can probably come and say that I don't think this was my strongest area of expertise in my inter syllabus. TDS was not something I was able to manage on my own. But yes, I realize where I stand. I realize where I stand. If there is an opportunity given in your articleship form, I would prove my capabilities. I prove my capabilities and would try to learn this to the best extent possible. यहाँ पे don't come and say मैं future में पढ़ के आऊँगा. नहीं होगा. You know you're not going to do it. Correct? No. Yes. It's all about how you use your English carefully, people. Be smart. You'll always get the right answer. Clear enough? Yes. You had a doubt. Yes. Every first budget, 1st of February. Every 1st February, you'll have a new finance act mandatory for you given to you. Whether it has amendments or not is a different conversation, but you will have a finance act given to you. Are we clear? Yes, good. With this, people, we're done with what is called as basics of tax. Next class, we are going to complete the basic chapter and move to sums. So we'll be doing something called charging section of income. We're going to do the charging section of income tax 1961 in the next class, and we're done with the theory on that. Yes, yes. People, whatever we did till now, please revise and come. Shh, listen, listen. I have a simple rule for my classes. I have a simple, very simple rule for my classes. I am not the faculty who's ever going to come and tell you कि Rahul, आज तुमने पढ़ाया 2 घंटा, go home and study for 1 hour. I have a very simple rule in my life. What I take for 2 hours would max to max take you 5 minutes to complete at your home, because it takes the length to discuss. It doesn't take the length to prepare. Yes. So I have a very small rule from my classes, and it's a mandatory rule to be followed, that when you go back home, spend only 5 minutes on a daily basis. On a daily basis, which means if I have a class today, evening you will spend 5 minutes and you'll complete it off. 5 minutes is all I want from you people. I know you are busy in life. बहुत कुछ करना है जिंदगी में. 5 minutes is what you need. Yes. 5 minutes of your time if you can spend for me, I can promise you income tax will become easier. The only one reason income tax becomes a difficult subject in exam is because I start taking a subject right now. You are more interested to do the sum with me. By the time the subject gets over, we are done with 5 heads of income. You're now like, oh, itna ho gaya. Then you start preparing. At that date, you have done two things. One, you've forgotten things. Second, takes time to revise. Takes time to revise, because once I'm done with the 5 heads, people, everything will go with a flash. Every single chapter will just be linked. On those days, I'll be the most happiest person, because I'll tell you, ये मैंने उस दिन पढ़ाया था, तुम भूल गए. I will not take it forward. I'm being very honest to you. Yes, on that dates, I will simply come and tell ये topic you have already discussed with me on that date. If you remember, amazing. If you don't remember, stare at your attempt. Yes, so don't make that mistake, people. I'm warning you today itself. I'm warning you today itself. Every single day, what you finish, spend 5 minutes. I will also spend that 5 minutes equally with you. Every time I come back to the class, I will revise the 5 minutes along with you. But for me to do it, you need to know it first. Don't stare and blink on me on that date. That doesn't help. Yes, 5 minutes is all I ask people. That is why the book is only 200 sides, because it takes that much efforts only. So 5 minutes, if you can spend from your side, I will get the job done from my side as well. Can you promise me that? आवाज नहीं आई. Thank you, people. Have a good day.